My name is Eric Inda. I work for Nairobi City County Government, and I control a program called Water Sanitation and Hygiene. As you know, when COVID started, we realized that it's more of hygiene. And if you look at water sanitation and hygiene program, mostly the component of hygiene has the domain called personal hygiene, and this is all around hand washing and provision of infrastructure that can support the behavior that we're talking about. And another thing is on environmental hygiene, and we knew that the disease was airborne, so there was need for WASH officers to see to it that our environment is sterile. So we were forced to come up with like environmental hygiene activities like disinfections and stuff like that. So that's when the county saw the need of like now supporting the WASH program to like come up with those intervention measures. First, we were supposed to like provide infrastructure that would support environmental hygiene activities in health facilities. That's coming up with hand washing points in health facilities. Things to do with like wearing of masks, provision of like masks to everybody working in health facilities. There was a component of wash commodities like the chlorine granules, the jik bleach and stuff like that for disinfection. There was also an aspect of waste management, because remember at that particular time any waste in the facility was hazardous and stuff like that. And at the community level, we were also supposed to set up like hand washing stations, create awareness, and provide masks where possible. And this was done at the household level and at the community level. And at the same time, at the community level, we are supposed to provide soap for hand washing and chlorine solution for disinfection, and maybe coming up with mild solutions for hand washing and stuff like that. So basically those are the things that we're doing. Then like the bigger component was now creating awareness on COVID-19 and stuff like that. Those were done both at the facility level and at the community level. Yes, what I can say is that we were at that particular time it was correct, because we didn't know what we were dealing with. We didn't know the route of transmission. We didn't know how to handle situations and stuff like that. So what we knew was just to quarantine and isolate the people who have signs and symptoms. But it didn't work for long, because it caused stigma, and most people went to hiding because they didn't want to be perceived as like COVID patients and stuff like that. So it worked for a while. Then later on we realized that there's a better way that we could go about it. Creating awareness, home isolations, talking to suspected cases over the phone, tagging healthcare workers to patients and stuff like that. So like we advanced, then putting on like temperature gadgets everywhere and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yes, it was a challenge, because like when you look at what we now came to do later is home isolation. Home isolation was not working, because like you just know how people live with the informal settlement. There's not enough space for isolation at home and stuff like that. Yeah. That's one. Two, there was a problem on the distance and meters that we're talking about. Keep it was something to do with 1 meter apart and stuff like that. It was not tenable in informal settlement. Then three we are talking about immunosuppressed communities in the informal settlement, because one, there was an aspect of nutrition that we realized later that if your immune system is compromised, then you're prone to that and stuff like that. Then another thing that came to play was the kind of housing, because informal settlement we have poor housing. So poor housing, lighting and ventilation is poor, and we know that COVID-19 was thriving in areas that there's no proper air circulation and stuff like that. So informal settlement, there's nothing like that. Mm-hmm. Then lastly is the quality of water. We are not sure of the quality of water in the informal settlement, and this was much due to like interferences with the supplies and stuff like that. And now this forced us to like now do a serious water quality surveillance, because we depended on this water for hand hygiene issues and stuff like that. Yeah, so basically those are the challenges that we are facing in informal settlements. Then lastly, what I can talk about was management of the mask, the community level management, use and stuff like that. Yes, it was a very, very big challenge. But we learned gradually as time went by, and we copied happenings in other countries and stuff like that. Yes, then we customized them to our context. Yes, I can remember that our meetings were ad hoc. By ad hoc, I'm talking about we were meeting when need arose, because remember that particular point, we didn't have even the commodities to support our actions.
Okay.
We didn't have enough masks. We didn't have enough gloves, and we didn't also have enough testing kits and facilities that we would say that were quarantine areas for testing and stuff like that. So we were doing a lot of resource mobilization, and we were learning a lot and putting into place what we thought would be right at that particular point. But we just know with our population is that they are always skeptical of anything that comes new. But this was now different, because when COVID started, there was a narrative that this is just a story and this is just a hoax. Because they were asking themselves that have you seen somebody suffering from what the government is saying? But later on they came to now realize and learn that what the government was saying was true and stuff like that, because they were now affected directly. Yes, and they were seeing people getting sick and dying and stuff like that. Yes, we were confused because like you remember the incidents that happened in I think in Siaya County, whereby like we were managing a COVID case like an Ebola case. But for me, I think it's always said that you're dealing with something that you don't know. You must take measures 100%. You should not leave any loophole. Yeah, you should like fishing, whereby like you use a big net that will catch like everything that you want. And for us, in terms of disease surveillance, we were we call it standard case definition was broader, so that we can capture like all the signs and symptoms that we needed, so that we could not let any signs and symptoms outside. So that's also what was happening with burial, because we didn't know exactly how this thing can be how this disease could be transmitted. So we didn't want to like let anything go wrong. Yes, but later on we learned, and we realized that these charges like compared to Ebola was not so much harmful and stuff like that. Yes, but what we used to do is that when we identified a COVID death, we were communicating with like all the coordinators in the county. So like for example, if like a body was going to for example Kisumu County for burial, we would communicate to all the border towns that the body was passing through. So if it's Kiambu, Rift Valley, yes, we were like passing the body to the next county until it was buried. Yes, that's what we used to do. At the first place, what we used to do at your border town is that we were doing disinfections. Yes, we were doing disinfections using like a week with the chlorine solution to like maybe the casket, the vehicle and stuff like that. Yes, transferring it until the point of burial. Then like at the point of burial, there were health workers waiting for the body, and like the body was supposed to be buried immediately. So we were timing the traveling time to like ensure that the body gets home at appropriate time, that it should be buried immediately. Later on we learned, and like now what we were doing is that we were giving homes hours. Then like we were ensuring that there is no eating, there was no preparation of food, and there was no gatherings around the burial sites and stuff. So what I can say is that we must always be prepared for emerging and re-emerging diseases. Every country needs preparedness, and we must be aware of emerging and re-emerging diseases. And at any given time, we must have infrastructure that can support emerging and re-emerging diseases or events. I can remember when we started responding, we were not going back home because you'll never know what you're taking back to your family and stuff like that. When it started, even the healthcare workers were being like evacuated from their dwellings, like the way we used to do it, like people coming up geared, and that like brought stigma around where you stay and stuff like that. Yeah, so like there's a day now we came up with a formula whereby like we will call you and tell you you've turned positive, so tell us where you can go and we can get you. Yeah, so you will walk away from your house and probably go somewhere, then we pick you up. Yes. Later on I lost like almost close to 6 relatives due to COVID. We have like relatives who succumbed to it. Yes.